Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, it's hot here, really hot. So, this video is why is stockpiling food the most important thing you can do? Okay, first of all, I have on my white sunglasses and see, I have a white purse and I have a white watch. So, see how this is like a nice combo? I sell these kind of things on Walmart, but this is a nice watch. I sell these. I bought it $5 one day at the swap meet, but since I bought it so cheap and whoever owned it before sized it, and it has a small wrist, that kind of makes selling it harder. And I'm being bad and I'm drinking Coke and it sure does taste good, you guys. So you heard the entire country of India has been stricken with the COVID. I have been watching China. There's no information coming out of China. India. Why India? Because India is the major competitor for manufacturing with China. So this comes as no surprise. And Europe has had a surge of the COVID too. So on the way over here, I saw a very wealthy guy, obviously from India, you know, with the typical India clothes that look kind of like India scrubs. And he had a very, very expensive sports car. And I thought, wow, not only did he get over here, he got over here with his car. But the wealthy people can always get out. It's the people, the poor people. So I have been watching India. Could we get another surge? Hopefully not. But what I want to do is I want to stay to the routine that has worked for me since the beginning of this pandemic. Generally, I might go to the 99-cent store at the top of Fletcher Parkway because they are very, very careful with the shopping carts. There's not long lines, and they give you hand sanitizers on the way in, and Walmart. So, I mentioned to you, this is before I found out how bad the COVID was in India, that they have 1.3 billion people. China has 1.4 billion people, and we have 331 million people. So they have like 3 times as many people as the US, and the whole country of India is stricken with the COVID. As of yesterday, it was the 6th day of 300,000 cases per day, and they say that is grossly underestimated, so it's worse. I was watching a pastor, and he's from India, and he said, you know, they were praying for the people, and they saw angels dropping or breaking vials over the homes and administering healing leaves to the people. This was months ago. So I heard a prayer one time, and this is a good one too. If you should get something like this, is just don't let this take my life. I mean, even as sickly as Job was, God spared his life. Okay, so I'm watching China, no info coming out. India, I'm watching the stock market. If the stock market does crash, welcome to the depression. Real estate, okay, this capital gains blank is really just like killed the real estate market. What, you want to sell your house and pay capital gains so you can move up? So this is not going to do wonders for the housing market, although strongly possible people may be foreclosing soon. I have warned every single person I know, watch your house. I'm watching gold and silver. Okay, I want to mention something before I get into why stockpile food. Okay, the Christians. The Garden of Eden Eve disobeyed God and they were cast out of the garden, and at that time the intellect was darkened. That's what the Christians say. Then we had judgments. That was a judgment for not. Shortly after that, Cain killed Abel. So that was the first documented case of killing. Also, they trace weapons back to Cain. Cain used a rock. Okay, then we had the Egyptians, and their main disobedience was the worship of idols. So if we want to say, okay, well, maybe this is some kind of judgment, we're looking for killing, the worship of idols. All the plagues were pretty much due during the time of the Egyptians to the worship of idols. And then in the last days, we're watching for wars, rumors of war, famine and disease, pestilence, death, hail, and locusts. So why is stockpiling food the most important thing we can do? Because usually we'll have disease and then famine. So we're preparing for famine, basically. So if things are so good, why is a super wealthy guy from India? We have a lot of wealthy Indians here. One time I was working in this franchise and I knew the manager. That does help. And she says, Ruthie, we're working for a guy from an Indian. I go, oh, Barona? She goes, no, Ruthie, India. So I have been around quite a few. I've had them in my clientele as well. So the wealthy Indians from India are evacuating India, which is smart. Okay, so now about food storage. Okay, I had a good comment on I was doing I bought food and they said, why don't you just store potatoes, beans, and rice? Because if something happens, I don't want to eat that. So what I want to do is I want to stockpile food that I eat all the time so that I can stay healthy. So we need food and water. And so the best way to stockpile water is when you buy water or you have soda pop bottles, refill them with water. So you're always storing continuously and buy food little by little. So let's say we go into some food shortage here. Increase in the price of food could cause less food. So I have some basic breakfast, cereal and milk. So I stockpile cereal and milk. Eggs and toast, so you need bread. In the last pandemic, they made it miserable to find yeast, and the flour was kind of shortage because here people were just like buying everything. Pancakes and eggs is cheap. So that's 3 things. Also, you know, those cornmeal pancakes I made were really good. Lunch sandwich with meat and cheese and a small fruit or a small vegetable. I knew a guy who was literally starving. I thought he was a drug addict, and he probably was, but he went to the park. Some lady just gave these street people over here food. It's really nice. He went to the park every day and he got a sandwich with some fruit or a small vegetable portion, and in time he was able to actually survive on that. I don't want to do that when I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, in the olden days, a long time ago, you know, my family went through the Depression. Every meal had bread, butter, and milk. So you want to be able to have that, so you need to be able to make bread. Meat, I don't want to eat rice and beans. Chances are, if things inflate, we're going to be able to get cheaper food. The problem is going to be, you know, the animal products. Potatoes, rice, or sweet potatoes. This was what I did when I started the YouTube. I worked in shops and they always seemed starved, but you know, I worked there too. Fruit and vegetables. So, you know, canned fruit and vegetables. Let me give you a screenshot of this in case you're new. I've been buying small hams, corned beef. Also, if somebody comes to you for help, you want to say, and they're been starving out a while, here's some rice and beans? No. Cottage cheese and yogurt. I just started buying the big ones. And then, you know, you can put fruit on your cottage cheese. And then I buy tea, because tea, 100 bags for $1. Tea is better than just having only water. And then hoard your cash in small bills. Okay, now we export a lot of food to China. Like what? And this is easy, verifiable. You can look it up. Soybeans, animal feed and hides, alfalfa, hay, dairy, poultry, processed food, pork, beef, and wheat. So we export a lot of food to them. Okay, if they're so smart, why don't the 5 families just provide for their people? Okay, now this is very important. The economic downturn in 2020 was not negative as initially estimated, due at least in part to the monetary policies the government adopted in 2020, like the stimuluses. So like, think back on it and say to yourself, okay, what if I didn't get those stimuluses? And then this is very important. Economic activities are projected below their potential output level through 2024. So remember the 5-year plan I did? So I am taking stock of my food, but I am stockpiling a major amount of canned food. I don't want moths in my food. I don't want to eat cracked wheat. And nothing's going to happen to my food. Also, it's easier to portion, and if you wanted to share some of your food, there are less dented cans, markdowns, and sales. Buy a little continuously. This is the best thing to do. Also, if the pandemic goes very, very bad worldwide, we could see more hoarding, and we could go to the stores and there would be no food, especially if they're not putting that much food on the shelves. Okay, now, fill in the blank. He who controls the food controls the world. He who controls the blank controls the world. He who controls the food controls the world. He who controls electronics controls the world. He who controls information controls the world. He who controls gold and silver controls the world. He who controls stocks controls the world. He who controls oil and gasoline controls the world. No, he who controls food controls the world. So in your world, you want to make sure you have food. Stop spending now. Homestead Tessie, oh no, it's not Mobile. Homestead Tessie Country Living made mention at one point she didn't have any money. And I thought, wow, what if you don't have any money? What are you going to do? You want to be thinking about that. Now, here's what, so stop spending, clean your house and secure your resources. Why clean your house? Because the cleaner you are, the less likely you are to get disease. I've been working on this. My house isn't really that dirty. It was cluttery. But I want to get my house spick and span, because that is going to protect me from picking up stuff. I used to work in shops and they were sick all the time. But I guarantee you, I was never sick. One thing, I don't eat out, and 2, I'm pretty clean. I could have some hellacious messes, but I use a refrigerator to keep my food, and freezer to keep my food safe. I kept my bed clean. You know, I wash my dishes myself and then put them in the dishwasher, stuff like that. Make repairs now, but for major repairs, wait until after 2024. Store gasoline and propane. You know my friend, the one I told you about, I couldn't understand what the hell her problem was a lot of times. One thing is she didn't have any propane, so you want to buy your propane and pay your utilities first. During the Depression, my grandmother said they were low on meat and sugar. So you want to make sure you have those two items. During World War II, they were low on oil. That's why I bought all the corn oil. Corn oil was $9 for like about a gallon, and they say the price is going to go up. Prepare for the holidays now, so your holiday is not jacked up. Just put aside a little money or buy a few gifts at a time. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. I think that's good for now. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.